Good evening. Welcome to the Toon review. Welcome to the Newcastle United versus Manchester United Premier League game. Very important game for Newcastle United. We're on a bit of a slump at the moment. What I haven't done is, while I've been making all this scoreboard stuff for you, I haven't downloaded the teams. I'm going to do that now. Bear with me 1 second while I find the teams, because I know you'll all be interested in seeing what the lineup is. There we go. We're in there. And we'll find out I know what the teams are already, but I haven't got them written down, which is a bit of an error. But I was messing around trying to get a scoreboard so you guys would have a clock, which is interesting. So let's just find the two teams. If I can. Save image. I know this isn't the greatest in the world, but it'll do. Save. And then we want the Manchester United shite to show also. And there that is. Right, so now I turn off. I come back in here and I find these pictures. So professional. So professional. Yeah, we need to go into add file. Newcastle United. And then we need to go into it again. Sorry about this, folks, but I wasn't being lazy. I was trying to do stuff in the background, which is for your benefit. There we go. And so there's the teams. Here's the Newcastle United team, and straight away you see a change in goal, which we all wanted after Saturday's chaos and whatever you want to call it, absolute nonsense from the former number one. So it's Ramsdale in goal, Trippier, Hall, Burn and Thiago across the back four. Once again, Dan Burn doesn't get rested. Midfield of Tonali, Ramsey and Joe Linton. Barnes left, Ilanga right, Gordon through the middle. And Mr. Voltemada has to sit on the bench if he's indeed on the bench. I don't think he is. He's not on the bench. No, the bench is Pope Botman, Wissa Asula, Jacob Murphy, Joe Willock, Alex Murphy, Leo Shahar and Sean Neve. So there is no Voltemada in the squad, full stop. So maybe he is ill after all. But there's the Newcastle United lineup. Interesting note, it seems. Manchester United, they go with Lamens in goal. Mazraoui comes in at right back for Dalot. Yoro and Maguire in the centre. Shaw at left back. Maguire and Shaw both have a sickness issue at the minute, but they're fit enough to play. Double pivot of Mainu, probably Mainu and Casemiro. Three in front of them, with Mbuemo, Cunha on the flanks, with Bruno Fernandes in the middle, Benjamin and Sesko up front. Don't know what their subs are, so I can't see them. But obviously when they come on, we shall be told what the score is. So there you go. That's the two sides. Let's do a bit of housework first also. If you are new to us, please subscribe. And if you want to be in the chat, actually, you need to subscribe anyway. Hit the like button as well. Gives a bit of support for tonight. And also, super chats are available by clicking the $sign below the chat there. And also, memberships also available too by clicking the join button, which is below me, I believe, somewhere on the front page. But there we go. That's all the stuff. Is everyone confident about that? I'm not sure. If I'm perfectly frank, if I'm confident, but at least he's been bold enough to make the change in goal, which was definitely needed. I can hear Billy's thoughts. Is that close up? Says Apples 202Z. Yes, I am very close. It is quite correct. Let's have a little drink. Yeah, so I'm yet to get into the actual stream of things, and I'm going to do that now. Sport. Right, so that's that ready now. We're all fit and ready to go. Yes, got lots of things to do at once tonight. I've not turned that round, have I? So that's probably why I was a bit loud. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, Pope is out, yes. So Mr. Ramsdale has come in. And you can guarantee that he'll make an absolute mess up of something tonight now. Trevor McDonald says, the ref scares me, tends to give shite dives as free kick. Peter Banks is the ref, isn't he? Yeah. All the refs are the same, to be fair. There you go. Halsbald says, I hope the ref is fair tonight. Yes, I hope he is as well, but yeah, NUFC Ollie. Let's go through this. I've got the super chats here that I've missed. Graham Ritchie, maybe I remember 50 minutes. He says, hi Bill, not confident, but you never know with the two, you don't. This is the sort of game who also, we kind of pull things out from nowhere, don't we? Sean NUFC 67, thank you for your super chat. All right, Billy, I have a Polish mate who's a sound engineer. I also have check 1 2, check 1 2. Like that, quite good. Asker says, what does Byrne have an edit always starts? He does indeed. And NUFC Ollie, and remember for 34 months, love a Billy Bob solo match day live. Well, yeah, they do come around a bit infrequently these days, but I remember one time it was every week, weren't we? We were doing solos because Paul was at the match and Stato didn't come on. And Stato's up, by the way, he's not here because he's working. Very busy at work, so he can't come on. But I've got this, folks. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything at all. Let's get back into the comments and see what everyone's saying. What you saying, guys? What you saying? Lip sync is out. Well, that's just unfortunate because I've got about 28 million things going on, Spider. But I wouldn't worry about it. I've got more super chats who've just popped in. We've got one from Cliff Coates over in Saudi. Hi, do Billy from Saudi. If Eddie needs a few rockets to shove up their asses, there's a few going overhead. Yeah, you stay safe over there, Cliff. Obviously, it's not a nice part of the world to be in at this precise moment in time. You stay safe, buddy, and hopefully you can get yourself a flight home if you need to. Yeah, it's not good. I've got to turn that around a little bit because a bit of background was showing. And Carl's been a member for 34 months, and he says 31 months. Sorry, he says, Billy, thank you for doing this. No problem, mate. No problem at all. And this will be probably more regularly now with Paul going to the games again. We shall see. There you go. Lots of people saying hello. He'll be there, Chippers. Don't worry about that. He's probably on the fucking bench. Probably on the Man U bench. Yes, things are falling around around me. We are 15 minutes from kickoff. Yes, 15 minutes. 8:15 kickoff, which is shite. John Kay says if Dan and Trippier on the pitch could be a 5-0 drubbing. And that's down to King Eddie. Well, they are on the pitch. Yeah, and unfortunately they are. And I guess he'd have no choice at right back, but certainly centre back could have made a change. Another super chat coming in from Quinton Cast and Cool Dude also. Cool Dude, £2 super chat. Right, lads and lasses, at Antacid. Is that your new nickname, Antacid? Because if it is, thanks for your super chat anyway. And a $5 super chat from Quinton Cast 4899. Today's a make or break down for me. If we don't win this game, I have no trust in Eddie Howe. I hope I am wrong. Well, a lot of people have turned over the past few days, to be honest. Susan says, Billy, you are the weakest teacher as presenter, even if we disagree on how. Thank you, Susan. I do appreciate that. What was your opinion on Saturday's performance, Sue? Was you pleased with the manager's performance Saturday? I mean, I don't see how you can. And Sefton says, what was your total for your charities? We made the 5K. I think we made 6, actually, Sefton. But I can't actually remember. I wasn't on the show when he announced it, but I'm pretty sure we made the 5 in less time. Keith Truscott with the £2 super chat. Hopefully it's not a 12-man United against us tonight. It will be. It will be. Yeah, up the A1 says, I'm with you all tonight as hubby and daughter at the match. And I'm looking after the new puppy. I'm looking forward to your brilliant commentary, Billy. Thank you, up the A1. And I hope your puppy doesn't cause you too many troubles during the game, like going to the toilet and things like that in the middle of the game. But they're lovely, aren't they, new puppies? So there you go. That's all the super chats. And we are now 15 minutes from kickoff. For all those people that have that have just joined us, we will put the lineups up again. Just for the people that have come in late. There's the Newcastle one. And the first thing, as you see, is the replacement of Nick Pope in goal by Aaron Ramsdale. The back four is exactly the same as Saturday, when they were, to be quite frank, awful. And they've kept the places. Trippier, Hall, Chow and Byrne. Midfield, I think that's the same as what's starting. Is it? It is, but it ain't, is it? Joe Linton, Tonali and Ramsey. Of course, Joe Linton started on the left wing on Saturday for some obscure reason. Tonight on the left wing is Harvey Barnes. On the right wing is Anthony Elanga. And in the middle, it's our superstar striker, Anthony Gordon, who should be able to get some joy tonight against the slow lumbering Maguire. But we shall see. And the Manchester United lineup for all those who are interested. Lemons in goal. Mazraoui in for Diego Dalot on the right back situation. Yohan Maguire and Shaw complete the back four. Double pivot of Kobe Mainu and Casemiro. In front of them, the fearsome three of Cunha, Bruno Fernandes and Mbeumo. And Benjamin Sesko, the man in form at this precise moment in time at the centre point of their attack. So, yes, a very dangerous side for Man United and an informed side also. So, we have to be at it. Chipper says John Sinclair's been named a Man United sub. I don't think he'd like that somehow. I better get rid of that, hadn't I? There you go. I won the whole game with that on the screen. Pablo Sereno says, is Voltemar injured? Well, there was rumours of him being a bit sick yesterday with that bug that Ramsey had, although not many people believed it, me included. However, he isn't on the bench or anywhere tonight, so maybe he is sick. There you go. I'd like to have seen him up front tonight, if I'm perfectly honest. Get some men around him and let's get the benefit of Nick Voltemar because he's an excellent player. There you go. Baz says he might have a Gordon Hammy. Jasmine Black says she's caught the trot off her horse. Well, maybe you're getting a bit close to him, Jasmine. At least we ain't got the canters or the gallops. People are saying hopefully Gordon turns up. Hippie Druid said, that's a face you want to punch. Not you, Billy. Oh, thank you. I mean, mine's only facing the bleeding screen, so it has to be me, doesn't it? Oh, Judy says there's a photo on my screen. Oh, they're watching the match already. Right, okay. Oh, dear me. Let's hope we can be a bit positive tonight. Let's hope we can see a bit of decent football, a few goals, and a nice victory. Billy, who's your favourite Beatle? Says David Robinson. Good question. I'm a Macca man, mate. I'm a McCartney man. But I love them all. If I'm perfectly honest, it's hard to split them, but I'm a Macca man. But as I say, I love them all. You should put a crowd noise on in the background or the Wurzels. Yeah, nice one. People aren't very confident, and we predicted defeats also. So it's we're not very confident up in Tyneside this week. I am the Walrus. Anyone know who the Eggman was? Because he was a real person, and he's actually from Newcastle upon Tyne, strange enough. It was Eric Burden. Eric Burden from the Animals. And John Lennon called him the Eggman because he used to engage in sexual acts from the rear and crack eggs on the back of the woman he was with. True story. Anyway. The Wolves was poorly. He was in Glass Onion, but not in real life. Magpie 50 isn't confident. Don't think anyone was. No, Pope isn't in goal, mate. It's Ramsdale. Howard, the lads. check your spell check, people, because Tonali gets changed to tonality. There's a really funny one, but I can't think what it is at the moment. It gets corrected, but I can't think it was. Yeah, Eric Burden. Yeah, very good friends. Archie says, you know some weird stuff, Billy. I love the Animals. I was watching a documentary about them the other day, and I got reminded about it. So that's the only reason why that's in my head at the minute. No other reason. Dylan Richardson says, we are the Toon Review militia, and we're feeling militant tonight. Watch out, Craig Hope. I like that. That's very good. Here's Susan. Walter is lovely, technically gifted, but despite that, I don't think he's placed enough for Premier League, potentially and long term. Don't think it's for us, but would love to be wrong. I agree, but why did we sign him? I don't know. I think we need to get players around him, and certainly doesn't work in midfield, does he? He's way too slow, way too weak physically. But I agree with you. Susan. But you've got to play. You've got to build your side around him. Lots of people talking about the Animals now. I've started something here. Alan Price's name's been mentioned. Chad Chandler, of course, famous for bringing Jimi Hendrix to Great Britain many moons ago after his stint in the Animals on the bass. Rocky Angler says the Man United fans are singing. He's one of our own. John Sinclair is one of our own. That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. And Susan says, yeah, we couldn't get Ekatike or Pedro or Sesko, whoever. But you don't buy anyone for the sake of it, do you? You know, I wouldn't have thought so. But anyway, let's see what happens. We're only, 10 minutes from kickoff? I'm going to go and have a look, see if anything's going on screen from my TNT. Not yet. On my stream. David, you already asked that. I've sort of said McCartney. Anthony Burlington says, hi, Toon Review Tribe. Let's have them. I'll do a few super chats before I don't want to miss any super chats. John Bowles, 5399. Thank you for yours. Love your commentary, Billy. 2-1 to the Toon for me. John Fawcett, 122. $5 Canadian, I believe. Cheers for keeping me company while driving to work. Love your commentary. Cheers from Canada. Big clue there, isn't there? Yeah, didn't read that first, but there you go. Thanks, John. Thank you. Both Johns, actually. The two Johns with nice contributions there to the channel, which we greatly appreciate. How's Billy feeling tonight? I feel great, mate. I'm just not looking forward to the actual game of football, if I'm perfectly honest. But things happen sometimes. Newcastle United do tend to shock us, don't they? When we least expect it, we turn up with something. But yeah. Yeah, flying solo tonight, mate. People. But I don't mind. Looks like it's Villa and Chelsea are playing, aren't they? It's 1 apiece at Villa Park. Very early kickoff there. Well, they get a 7:30 kickoff and we get a 8:15 one. And we're 8 o'clock Saturday night again. Claire says we're linked with Watkins. Now he's slightly over the... I think he's slightly over the top now, and I think he's lost a yard of pace. I wouldn't want him. Not now. Maybe 3 years ago. It's on you. Someone mentioned here about Harry Maguire. It's on YouTube that Squarehead is banned for 15 minutes. So how does he play tonight? No, he's got a suspended sentence from what happened in Greece a few years back. So he's free to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, within the legal framework. Can I move back a little? I could, but I'd fall for the green screen. Oh, dear me, this keeps turning around. There you go. Back in again. You don't want to see my face, trolls. Do you know what? We'll go back a little bit. There you go. And I'll move this forward a little bit. And then that defeats the object. There you go. How's that? Is that better? Everyone satisfied with that? There you go. Antacid says, I like your face. Thank you, Antacid. Very kind of you, sir. They're retrialing the Harry Maguire, apparently. And then someone says, Trevor says, if it was me or you, we would just be getting out of some dodgy Greek jail. Yeah. I agree. I agree, mate. Ollie's happy. Loki's happy. Susan's happy. Everyone's happy. What's the score? I haven't started yet, Nicola. So we're doing all right. But we are going to go back into the stream and have a look. The ground looks rather packed, to be fair. We have a which looks like Spuggy, how Spuggy would look these days, with waving her flag around, and all the flags are waving. The Dan Burn scarves are waving. Everyone looks in jovial moods. The crowd surfer flags moving across the Gala Gate at the top end of it at the precise moment in time. But the players are not yet out on the pitch. But we're not further away at all. And in fact, the teams aren't coming out onto the pitch at this precise moment in time. Yes, they do. Now, which one did I use? I think it was that one. We shall soon see. I'm trying to do things so I don't. No, it's not that one. Definitely not that one. So which one was it then? It ain't that one either. Well, that's not going to work either. So everything's going tits up at this precise moment in time. Never mind. The Newcastle team is on the screen at the minute. I don't want to hear that either. That's stupid. Yeah, so that's the Newcastle lineup with Gordon going through the middle. It's a 4-3-3. Same back four, same midfield virtually as what went from 30 minutes Saturday. The only change is Ramsdale in goal too. That Barnes is also in. And Manchester United, they're playing a 4-2-3-1. Lemons, Mazraoui, Yoro, Maguire, Shaw, Casemiro, Mainu, and Bruno, Cunha on either side of Bruno Fernandes, the captain, and Benjamin Šeško up front for them. And we're going to get a look at the Man United subs now for the first time at some point here, I believe. It'll be the usual suspects, won't it? You Ahmads and people like that. Yeah, so here's the Man United subs. Bayendir, Dallo, Xerxes, Malasha, Ahmad, Ugarte, Heaven, Fletcher, and Kukonki. Godwill Kukonki. Interesting. Never heard of him. Newcastle United are in the huddle at the precise moment in time. As are the Manchester United outfit. And Fernandez is leading that. They will see this as a nice little bit of a revenge mission. The amount of times that we've pissed the nail chips the past few years has been, well, it's been satisfying. But they beat us in the return fixture at Old Trafford earlier in the season when they were shite. So now they've got a bit of consistency about them and playing with a bit of enjoyment, and they've got a new set of eyes overseeing them. Mr. Carrick is currently in the middle of the screen. This could be difficult for us tonight, but let's hope we can do something special. There's the referee there with a fantastic widow's peak. There's the Goodyear blimp shot over the St James's Park. Wonder how many more times we're going to see that shot if we do get a new stadium. Manchester United are kicking towards the Gallagher first half, so nothing's changed. And we're off and running. And in the game. So back it's gone to Lamens. Forward it goes then to the left-hand side of the pitch. Good leap coming in from Chow. Trippier takes it down and chips it down the line. Off Cunha and out for a throw into Newcastle United. In the Newcastle halfway inside it. And he's looking down the line, I think. Not a lot of movement, and he's thrown it to Dan Burn, who flicks it onto Lewis Hall, who's going at a rate of knots through the middle of the park on the left-hand side of it. Plays it wide for Barnes. Barnes is approached by Mazraoui, but he plays it inside for Sandro Tonali. He's got ball to the outside, floats one, where Trippier's waiting. It's a beautiful ball. Takes it down. Trippier tried to play it behind Shaw in for Alanga. It didn't work, but we still maintain possession. Ball in from Trippier to Tonali. Lovely running off the ball from him. Trying to get past Fernandez. He can't, so he goes backwards to Trippier. Trippier's fouled. Referee says no. Manchester United bring it clear. Sesko very deep at the minute. Over to Shaw, and it's tackled there by Tonali. Or Ramsey, it was in fact. And in fact, Newcastle win the throw-in. Here's Alanga. Now Ramsey. And he goes back to reset. Burn has it currently with Lewis Hall on the left flank here. Now down to Harvey Barnes. Back to Lewis Hall. And Newcastle just maintaining a modicum of calmness. Ball is with Chow. Pressed by Sesko. Sesko gets a block on it. But it goes out for throw-in, fortunately, for Malik Chow, who's a bit slow and wanting there, to be honest. Kieran Trippier has retreated, take his throw-in. He plays it to Malik Chow. Now it's with Aaron Ramsdale in the Newcastle United goal. And he rolls it out confidently to Dan Burn. Burn forward for Joe Linton. Joe Linton turns and plays a lovely ball over the top there for Elanga, who control was awful, but gets a block, and this might fall for Ramsey. Good strength from Ramsey against Mainu. Now Gordon. Gordon turns. Now it's Joe Linton. He's got Barnes wide here. Barnes on the corner of the area. Going up against Mazraoui, trying to get to the byline. Can't do so. Goes back to Lewis Hall, who has Casemiro in front of him. Now Joe Linton, and now back to Tonali. We're going to start from deep again. Tonight trying to find some space, but Bruno Fernandes is on him like a rash. Dan Burn floats one to the far side where Kieran Trippier is waiting for it. He just knocked it down the pitch for Langa. Nice touch. Now Ramsey. Back to Trippier. A great little ball out from Trippier into Elanga, who's made some nice space here. Now Joe Linton. And now Hall. Good move this from Newcastle. Although Harvey Barnes' touch weren't great, but Hall wins it back. Tries to get to the far side. Crosses in. It's over the head of everyone. Fall for Trippier on the far post. Trippier lobs it to... Well, he's hit the post there, Trippier. Really poor. And then Hall shoots. And it goes wide. It was one of those crosses that looks like it's going out of play, but it actually hit the angle of the bar in the post and almost dropped in there from Kieran Trippier. And then the rebound fell to Hall, who managed to get a volley on it, but it was to the left of goal and high and not very handsome. But this was... what he's doing is laying up to the back post. There's no one there. But the keeper thinks it's going out. Everyone leaves it, but it hits the angle of the post and bar. That could easily have fell in. Yoro's left it as well. Very fortunate there, Manchester United. Header there from Chow. And then from Joe Linton. Shaw beats Elanga in the air, but Trippier manages to move it back to Ramsdale. And Ramsdale just plays it wide here for... Well, can we see who it is? You've got the camera now on Ramsdale where we're playing on. Here's Chow, and now Trippier, and now Chow again. Press comes in from Manchester United. This is, well, they're doing to us what we used to do to them. But we get out of it really nicely with a nice little flick from Burton. That round the corner pass that I criticised him for the other week, he's just done it and got away with it. Hall, back to Burn. Excuse me. Now it's with Chow to the far flank where Elanga is. Elanga cuts inside. He's running at Shaw here. He's gone for pace. Ball in for Gordon. Gordon takes it down nicely. Plays it wide for Ramsey. That's a poor pass from Ramsey. And Man United can break now with Fernandez. He plays it wide here, and there's no one there apart from Dan Burn, who picks it up without any challenge whatsoever from Man United players. Strange ball from Fernandez, which enables Newcastle to, again, kick on from deep. Here's Sonali, and he bends one round, Sesko to Trippier. Ramsey inside. He goes the ball in behind for Gordon. Good run off the ball up from Gordon. But the cross across was dreadful, straight into the arms of Lemens. And it's back in his arms and safe. But good run off the ball. But then he just basically passed it back to the keeper. Great movement. And that's, well, actually, Maguire got a touch on that, so that's a bit unfair. But he's clearly got the pace on Maguire. And let's be honest, I think most of us would. Me included. Here's Lemens. Ball at feet. Newcastle looking like they want to do a press, but he goes long, looking for... Well, he's looking for nobody there. He's looking for Cunha, but it's way over his head. Drifts into touch. Trippier will take the throw in. Good start, Newcastle. This in the first 6 minutes. Carrick does look concerned. But to be fair, so does Eddie Howe. Anyway, the ball is... Oh, that's terrible from Trippier. Gives the ball away. Man United on the attack here. Cunha blasts it high, wide, and not very handsome into the Gallagate. But that's poor from Trippier, giving the ball away, and a really poor... Oh, that's terrible. He sold Chiao short, and then Man United are in. But that shot from Cunha, good grief, it's a Miggy shot. But once again, Trippier got caught losing the ball deep in his own half there. Yeah. We need to get a right back fit, sharpish. Ramsdale clears it long to avoid the press that Man United are putting on. Maguire against Gordon in the air. It's the most obvious result there. Maguire nods it away. Cunha plays it past Trippier. Gordon's chasing back to his credit. And the Man United do play it backwards. Here's Maguire. And Yoro. Back to Maguire. And now Luke Shaw. Back to Maguire again. This might go all the way back to the keeper, folks. And it does. Lemens all in yellow. Taking his time. No press. In the end, he floats it to the far side looking for Cunha, but it's a nod on from Trippier who wins it. Bit of head tennis between Gordon and Ramsey didn't work. Manchester United clear it. Cunha looks like he should win that in the air, but doesn't. Trippier wins it. Good jump from Trippier. Now Fernandez. Casemiro. Sesko, robbed by Joe Linton. And Burn plays it back to the safety of Aaron Ramsdale, whose first touch isn't superb, but he gets rid of it. Nick Pope style, straight into touch. Yeah, good defensive cover that from Joe Linton to get onto Fesco. Anyway, Newcastle on the attack now. Great little touch from Gordon. Here's Joe Linton. Plays Barnes in. Can Barnes take it in stride? He can't. He's forced a bit wider than where he wanted to go. Going up against Mazraoui. Cuts inside. Tries to find Ilanga. Then Barnes has a shot, which is blocked by Casemiro. And now Mbeumo and Hall are having a wrestling match on this flank. In comes Joe Linton to try and force the issue. And then Yoro, is it Yoro? No, it's Mazraoui who falls over like a sack of spuds under no physical pressure from Ilanga. Ooh, was that in the box? Might be a bit of hands here, folks. I mean, Mazraoui's got Ilanga with all the strength of a pole of runner beans in the back garden has managed to push Mazraoui, a fairly broad defender. There was a hint of handball there, but then obviously they aren't going to look at that. Good leap there from Trippier. Again, he's won a few in the air tonight. And now Joe Linton nods it back to Byrne, who's going to go all the way back to Ramsdale. Ramsdale can reset, check out which his options are. He goes to Dan Byrne. He's going to get pressed, but he goes to Hall. Hall down the line, looking for the run of Barnes. A beautiful pass, just floats out of play. Barnes couldn't get to the other side of the ball because it bounced on the actual touchline. But it was a nice effort. First 10 minutes, fairly even, Stephen. I think we could have been ahead with a really lucky goal, but it's pretty even, Stephen, to be fair. Mazraoui hauls it down the field over Hall's head. And Mbeumo was nearly through then. Good tackle from Byrne to put it into touch. And Mazraoui comes down to take the throw in. Goes backwards to Lenny Yoro. In there to Mainu. Casemiro gets away one there. Joe Linton almost takes off him. And then Mainu almost lost it also, but then he kept possession. And he's given him a free kick. Just get on with it, you tit. Give him a free kick for nothing when he had the ball. Here's Maguire. Just entering the Newcastle half. 67% possession for Newcastle so far. And Kuna goes straight past Trippier. Ball comes in. It's a brilliant ball, that. But there was no one in the area. And Man United are pressing. Mainu is robbed by Tonali. He's cleared it some distance away. Mazraoui down the line for Mbeumo. Mbeumo's touch takes him back further than what he wanted to go. And they float it into the space where Mbeumo just come from, and it will go out of play for a Newcastle throw. Not very good, that for Man United, to be fair. Long throw from Hall, looking for Barnes. Well, he finds Joe Linton, in fact, flicked on. Tonali with a header. Gordon's on the run here with Yoro. Yoro does remarkably well there, clears it. Good header from Hall. Gordon gets a nice touch there, Barnes. Now Gordon, back flick to Barnes. Can Barnes get there? He can't because Yoro's in with a slide tackle and puts it into touch for a throw to Newcastle. Level with the penalty area, left flank for Newcastle United. Lewis Hall trots up to take control of the situation. It's only me, he's in the crowd there. No, I don't believe he wanted to do that. Lewis Hall looks like he's going to be throwing this one long. Byrne is in there. Machau's in there. Joe Linton's in there. And he goes short to Tonali. Can Tonali get across it? He's trying to bend it to the far post. Almost fell for Gil Gordon. Here's a Lang on the volley! Oof! Oof, that's so close. Just wide. To the right-hand side of the goal. Good grief, that was close. I don't know if Lamens had it covered. I think he might have done. He did. Yeah, he had it covered. Good effort from Malanga on his right foot. About a yard wide. And I believe I just saw someone sat in the Gallagate with the... Is it the... No, it's not. It's the Leeds, isn't it? With a red hat on. Surely that's not a Man United hat. Surely not. Anyway, the ball is with Newcastle. We'll have a throw in just short of the halfway line on the right-hand side with Trippier and Tonali, who loses out there. And Man United on the attack here. Good step in from Chow to take it off the feet of Mbeumo, who come inside there. Here's Barnes. Now Joe Linton. Oh, lovely bit of play from Joe Linton. Sold Fernandez a treat there. Little pass for Barnes. Now Hall. He wants it back to Joe Linton. Joe Linton's brilliant. Great footballist, Newcastle. Tonali. Back into Joe Linton. His first touch just took it behind him. But he wins it back. Barnes! Oh, it's just wide. Should have done better. But brilliant from Joe Linton. Absolutely outstanding to get the ball down the pitch from his own penalty area, really. He was involved 4 or 5 times in the move. Tonali played it to him. It went behind him and he lost the ball. But then he had the tenacity to win it back again. And then Barnes has curved it just wide. I don't know how close this is. But it's it's a Hardy Barnes special, but we're not going to get a view of how close it is from that angle. But it looked pretty close to me. But I'd expect Hardy Barnes to get that on target, if I'm perfectly frank. Maguire takes the goal kick. But as I say, Joe Linton, sublime there. Great football from him. 4 attempts to 1 on Newcastle, in Newcastle's favour. None on target as yet. Here's Gordon. Gordon with a chance to run. Good ball in for Joe Linton. Joe Linton floats it. Might have over hit that. No, he hasn't. Here's Barnes. Barnes up against Mazraoui. When Bremo comes to help him, here's Lewis Hall to the far post. And Lemens takes a good catch ahead of the onrushing Ilanga. Amazing we're getting all these little chippy, floaty crosses in when we have no tall centre forward to aim for. 10 touches in the opponent's box for Newcastle. 0 yet for Manchester United. I think that tells a story in its own words there. Here's Lemens after receiving the ball back from Maguire. No press. Mainu comes short. I don't think he's going to go long anyway, looking for the run of Cunha. And Trippier just allows it to fall over his head for a throw into Newcastle United. About 10 yards outside the Newcastle penalty area. Which Trippier himself will take. Here's Gordon. Oh, he's lost out there. Trying to beat players again in his own half. And now Manchester United can attack with Casemiro into Sesko. Back to Casemiro and then Mainu. Mainu into Yoro in the centre circle. And now down to Mazraoui. Little triangle football between Casemiro and Mazraoui and Yoro there. Here's Casemiro. One touch stuff from Manchester United, getting him up the pitch. Mazraoui again. Back to Casemiro. He goes further back, where Yoro is awaiting, and now square to Harry Maguire, who has a little bit of space. Gordon's closing it down. Maguire with the confidence to step inside. And indeed, go forward. Good ball from Maguire to Mazraoui. 4v4 here. A great foot. Oh, good interception that from Chow, otherwise Fernandez was in. Long clearance where Gordon has chased for it. He's got no chance of winning this here. He gets pushed in the back. Wins a free kick. Ridiculous foul there for the ex-England international Maguire. Ridiculous foul. No need to commit it. That's just ridiculous. Talk about bull in a china shop. Christ almighty. He actually pulled him by his neck and pushed him through it. Really silly foul for Maguire. And Newcastle have a free kick just shy of the halfway line, which Sandro Tonali has left for Aaron Ramsdale to take. Ramsdale floats it in, looking for a Newcastle flick. Doesn't get one. Good header away from Casemiro. There's a Man United player down with a head injury. It's Luke Shaw. I mean, players are taking advantage of this now, aren't they? Does he get a bang to the head, Luke Shaw? Oh, yes, he does. Yeah, an elbow from Dan Burn. That's nasty. He could be in trouble here, Burn. He knows he's there because he's got his hands all over him. Oh, that's nasty. That is nasty. But apparently VAR aren't doing anything about it. There's no need for him to do that. Ridiculous. Dan Burn's 6'6", 6'7". Luke Shaw's what? Almost 6 foot. Why is he doing that? And we've conceded possession back to them again. Which Le Mans will take a long goal kick. Well, it's a free kick, but it's on the edge of the area. In the D, in fact. Again, he's going for Cunha on the far side. Will he reach him this time? No, Sesko's gone for it. Good header from Chow. Gordon gets a flick onto it, but Man United will pick that one up. Although it's aimed towards the left flank where Lewis Hall picks it up. Ball forward for Tonali. He's got a bit of space to run into here, Sandro. And he's making the most of it. Galloping down the wing. He's got Mbeumo coming back to help him. Here's Gordon. Back to Tonali. And now Joe Linton. Now Ramsey, who's been very quiet so far. Does well there, though. Now Trippier. Wants to play that in behind for Elanga. Elanga's there. Can he get across on a decent one? No, he can't. It's to Barnes at the far post and it's cleared. Joe Linton's again trying to win the ball. He does. Tonali! Again, it's just wide on the volley. Once again, Joe Linton's hunger to win the ball back in high areas of the pitch is phenomenal. And he's forced Masraoui into a mistake. Volley from Tonali is always going wide. But again, it's good play from Newcastle. Although, we're not making the keeper make a save again. Flick on from Sesko into the path of Dan Burn. Dan Burn decides to take a player on and play it to Hall. Hall might go all the way back to Ramsdale here because he's got Mbeumo with his back. Does go to Ramsdale. Ramsdale, when he floats one down the middle of the park, looking for Barnes. He's beaten by Masraoui. Flicked on from Casemiro. Sesko's offside there, but Tonali picks the ball up. Here's Joe Linton. Plays it wide for Trippier. Now Elanga. And now Ramsey. Back to Trippier. And now Elanga, who's in field here. Now Tonali. Poor from Tonali. Really poor pass. And can Lewis Hall keep it in? No, he can't. But he gets a foul off the Man United player. Pushes him out over. And Mbeumo. Another silly foul to give away. Really poor pass that from Tonali. Put Lewis Hall in all sorts of trouble. But Mbeumo in his urgency to get to the ball just fouled Lewis Hall. Ridiculous, really. Here is Lewis Hall. Back to Dan Burn and now to Aaron Ramsdale. Bit of pressure from Sesko. Ramsdale plays a nice ball to Ramsey, who plays it wide for Malik Chow. Now Kieran Trippier on the halfway line, trying to play in behind for Elanga. Overhits it. And the men's comes out and collects. Simple ball down the line there that Trippier couldn't complete. Here's Yoro. And now Maguire being pressed by Gordon. But he's on his own. It's a fruitless task, this one. And Le Mans will clear it down the middle of the park. Looking for Cunha yet again. Trippier wins it in the air. Flick on from Elanga. This is Joe Linton. Can he play it in behind for Gordon? No, he couldn't, is the answer to that. Overhits it by about 15 yards into the arms of Le Mans. A nice deft ball on the ground would have got Gordon in on goal there. Le Mans again looking for Cunha. It seems to be the only tactic they've got. And this time Trippier stands off him and lets the ball bounce over his shoulder and then clears it out for throw into Man United just in their own half. Although by the time that Luke Shaw gets the ball, it's in our half now. In comes Trippier to win the ball back. Down to Luke Shaw, all the way back to Maguire. And now Le Mans again. Long ball for Cunha. Yet again, it's the only tactic they've got. Here's Sesko. This time he gets a flick onto it. Sesko picks it up, pushes. Well, there's two Newcastle players down. One with a head injury, it's Trippier. Holding his eye. Might have caught the head of... No, he's caught the boots, actually. He's caught the boot of Cunha. Totally accidental. Kieran's been a bit lucky in that department. That's about the third time I think he's been kicked in the face. Nothing deliberate in that one, though. 23 minutes on the clock. Nothing going on at the minute, folks. Just Trippier. Well, surely not going to make him go off. No, they haven't. I don't think so. Or have they? Here's Bruno Fernandes. Wide here for Brian and Burmo. Cross comes in, looking for Sesko. Might fall for Sesko. It's a terrible header. Sesko blocked. Ramsdale picks it up. Lucky there for Newcastle, but good strength from Chow and Tonali, who was then manhandled to the ground by Sesko. They did make Trippier go off, by the way. He stood on the sideline. That's ridiculous. He had a head injury. But that nearly fell for Sesko, but he had to go through tonight to get to it. It's a free kick to Newcastle. But at 1 minute, it was a bit 60 and 70 at the back. But we get away with it. Ramsdale will take the goal kick, free kick, whatever it may be. To Burn, to Hall. Pressure in from Mbeumo. He goes back to Burn. Burns with a great switch to the side of the pitch where Trippier is now on the pitch. And he's got lots of space to run into. Only just managed to keep it in, really, but it was a great ball from Burn. Brilliant ball across the pitch. Now Trippier's looking for a cross. Plays for Alanga. Alanga's cross is too much. Yeah, that's poor. Overhit. And again, crossing the ball into where the big, tall defenders of Manchester United against Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon. Don't see a lot of sense in it. Brilliant pass that from Burn, though. Was an outstanding one. And great vision. Manchester United give the ball away again. Here's Malik Chow. Wide to Trippier. Jacob Ramsey comes short. First time ball in for Alanga. Tries to turn around Shaw. Shaw's not having none of that. And Ramsey fouls. Is it Fernandes? Yellow card for Jacob Ramsey there. I think that's his first foul of the game, but he gets a yellow card for it. There's Casemiro, in fact. He's grabbed him by the arm and pulled him over. I guess you can have no arguments for that one. Been very quiet tonight, Jacob Ramsey, to be honest. He's not really got himself into the game as much as he did Saturday. We want to see him get into the game more. Here's Casemiro. Tries to play it through the middle. Nearly fell for a Man United player. And in the end, it did. It fell for Mbeumo on this right flank as Man United go. Good inside for Mainu. Mainu almost lost out to Tonali, but managed to regain possession. Here's Mbeumo again, going up against Lewis Hall. Wants to cut inside. Lewis Hall shows him the outside and does well there, Lewis Hall. Ball doesn't even go out of play. It's Mazraoui still. Or was it gone out of play? It will be a corner. Lewis Hall thinks he's kept it in. But the referee's assistant here, let's give a corner. And we'll have the perfect view here if he did go out or not. Lewis Hall showed him the outside. He went on the outside. Lewis Hall, that's not gone out of play. Not the whole ball. Anyhow, they've got a corner for it. It will be an in-swinger, and it looks like it's going to be Bruno Fernandes to take it. No, it's not. It's Mbeumo. No Coldy coming in. That was I thought the kid could have come and caught that. Casemiro's got a lovely black eye, by the way. Will it be another corner this? I'm not sure. Yes, it will. And Casemiro's always dangerous from corners, isn't he? We'll never forget the one at Wembley against us, of course. But Ramsdale doesn't inspire confidence from these crosses. It bent in towards the keeper again. Doesn't get anywhere near him. Gordon clears it further down the pitch. Lob back in from Shaw. That's going to run out of play. And it'll be a goal kick to Newcastle United. Managed to get away with it. Fernandes trying to play a nice little ball in behind the full-back there to the on-running and Burmo. Overhits it. Will be a goal kick. Yeah, Casemiro's got a lovely shiner. Here's Burn. Now Lewis Hall. Down to Joe Linton. Wins the throw-in off Casemiro. Hall, back to Burn. Man United starting to put a bit of pressure on now. Here's Ramsdale. Trippier's the obvious ball, but he's decided to go safety first and just kicks it to Luke Shaw. But this might fall for Newcastle. Here's Gordon. Now Joe Linton. Joe Linton galloping through the middle of the park here, heading for goal. That's Gordon. Gordon. Oh, good tackle from Matt Maguire. Again, Joe Linton's hunger to get forward was astonishing there. Here's Chow. Little nod from Joe Linton wide there to Jacob Ramsey. Ramsey in for Joe Linton. Took him a while to get it in control, and he was robbed by Bruno Fernandes. Sesko's first time ball into Casemiro. Good defender from Hall. Managed to knock it off Mbeumo's toe. But Mbeumo does pick up the rebound. Back that's gone then to Mazraoui and further back to Lenny Yoro. Manchester United starting to get into the game more now. Potentially just on top at this precise moment in time. Seem to have a lot more possession than what they've had recently, earlier in the half. Here's Mazraoui. Goes further back there to Yoro. Now Casemiro and Harry Maguire. Bit of pressure coming from Gordon. Maguire decides to go home, where Lamens is waiting. No pressure on Lamens. He just plays a long ball. Again, it's out to the right-hand side. Trippier came forward to try and win it. He was fouled there by Cunha. And it will be a free kick to Newcastle United, I think. Yeah, last 5 minutes, Manchester United, it's not, it's a throw into Newcastle United. Last 5 minutes, Manchester United have had 61% possession. You could just tell the way things were going that we've been giving the ball away a little bit and they've been a bit more confident in how they're playing. But Burn has it at the precise moment in time. And he has to go to Hall. They're cutting off a lot of the passes here and winning the ball back nicely. Good ball that from Barnes into Tonali. Tonali's going down this left flank now. Has Barnes inside. Mazraoui gets back and deflects it out for throwing. Which is taken by Lewis Hall all the way back to Dan Burn. And now it's in the possession of Malik Chow and Dan Burn again. Not giving us a moment's rest here. There's press coming in all over the place. To Burn and Hall. He goes back to Ramsdale. Chow's free if he wants him. He goes to Burn instead. Not shot on target so far. We are over half an hour in as well. Burn. Nice ball. Joe Linton tried to nod it over Mazraoui. Didn't quite work. But Joe Linton wins it back off Casemiro with outstanding play from Joe Linton. The pass was awful though. And Mainu picks it up. But he's robbed though by Ramsey. Good play that from Newcastle from Ramsey. Tonali. Oh, come on. Start passing to our own men. Giving the ball away again. And Man United now 3v3 at the back here. Fernandes tries to whack it in behind Burn. Burn's big size, 28 feet, gets in the way. And Newcastle can clear it. There's a foul on Gordon, which the referee totally ignores. And Harry Maguire ambles forward with the ball at his feet. Plays it right to Mazraoui and now to Mbeumo. Trying to play in behind Tonali. Didn't work. Tonali got a foot to it. Casemiro to Mazraoui. Fernandes on this right flank. Back to Casemiro and Yoro. And now Maguire with a bit of space to move into. He goes wide where Luke Shaw waits. Back to Maguire. Back to Shaw. He's got a bit of space to run into here, Shaw. Bit of lack of a concentration there by Elanga. Letting him go. Here's Mainu. Back he goes then to Yoro. And now it's with Casemiro. Oof, that's a foul all day, every day by Malik Chow. And he's really hurt. Terrible tackle, Cunha there. Good grief. Oh, he's trod on his toe. Yeah, not a nice one. It'll be a free kick to Man United. I'm going to say it's about 35 yards from goal. I'm surprised he didn't get a yellow card for that. Yeah, we are about 35 yards from goal. But they do have Bruno Fernandes, who's a bit of a wizard from these situations. And he's, of course, over the ball, as well as Casemiro. Casemiro moves away. The artillery's in the box also. Burn on Maguire. Ramsdale's got to get his wall right here. He's only got a two-man wall. one of which is Joe Linton, and the other one, I believe, is Anthony Gordon. Fernandez is definitely looking for goal here, but he has got options to the far post with crosses. And that's what he does. He's gone for a cross to the far post. Byrne gets head to it. And Alanga takes it past 2, 3, and lays it to Gordon. Well played. Good ball for Joe Linton. If you get Barnes in here, we're on the attack here, 2v2. Got to give it Barnes. But Joe Linton comes inside too. Joe Linton blasts into the Leeses. Wrong choices there, Joe. Too selfish. He had Gordon right. He had Barnes left. Ball should have gone to one of them two. Never did. I think Joe fancied himself a goal tonight. Great play from Alanga and Gordon to get Joe free in the first place. But it was here where he should have made the choice. He had Gordon to the right, Barnes to the left. They both run offside. They were waiting that long. And then Joe Linton just hoofed it into the Leeses. I guess if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle, but he had much better options there, Joe. But he's been great this first half, to be fair to him. It's still a goal kick to Man United. They're taking the time over this. Long kick from Lamens. Again looking for Cunha. Nodded away from Trippier. Alanga almost got in there. But the ball is out of play for a throw-in the left-back area of Manchester United. And Luke Shaw will take it. Down the line looking for Cunha. Trippier gets in the way. Ramsey has it now, just in front of his back four. Plays it wide for Hall. Almost lost the ball there, Ramsey. Hall trying an audacious pass, which didn't work. It's floated into touch. Mazraoui. Good pressure from Gordon. Gives away a free kick. I think it probably was a free kick, but it weren't. I've seen him let a few go in the first half so far. Like that. Here's Maguire. And now Yoro. Mazraoui down the line looking for Mbermo. Hall takes it off him. He's fouled. That should be a free kick, referee. And indeed it is so. And in fact, Mbermo gets a yellow card. Hall whipped off his feet and then, well, Mbermo tried to win the ball back. Not sure that's a yellow, to be fair. I wasn't sure that Charles was also, but the two most innocuous challenges of the first half, he's dished out yellow cards for, Peter Banks. Tonight he's come to take this free kick. He's just inside the Man United half, maybe by 5 yards or so. Byrne and Shaw. Shaw's again on Byrne. I would stay away from him if I was you, Shaw. It's this time Shaw Tonali goes down the line for Barnes. Barnes cuts inside, looks for a cross. Hits him, Burmo. Fall for Joe Linton. Now Trippier. He has Alanga wide. He goes to Alanga. Alanga's got Maynard in front of him. He goes to Trippier again. Trippier crosses it in. Off the head of, I think it was Mazraoui, and it fell into the arms of Lamens, fortunately for Manchester United. But a different set piece. At least he didn't just hoof it in the box looking for a header. Tried to set up a better angle with Barnes. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but at least he tried it. Here's Ramsey. Nice ball for Joe Linton. Another nice ball for Gordon. His first touch is not great, but Alanga picked it up, ran straight into the brick wall that was Harry Maguire, and lost the ball. Good play that for Cunha. Joe Linton's going to get a booking for that. And he does. Very strict on pulling the shirts and the arms, and Joe Linton sarcastically clapping. He was going to get sent off here if he ain't careful. Well, you can't pull the shirt, Joe. You know you can't. He's done it twice. It's a yellow card all day, every day. And then to sarcastically clap the referee, you're asking for trouble. Fortunately, the ref didn't do anything about it. Borders with Maguire back to the keeper, and he goes long. Again, it's aimed towards Cunha. And again, Trippier wins the ball in the air. Joe Linton wins that one, but it's a poor header, and he's put for Bruno Fernandes. No, it's Cunha into Sesko. Sesko, I thought was maybe fouled there. Wants a penalty, but he's laughing, so he's obviously dived. And that was with Alanga, who is fouled, and will win a free kick, I believe, and a yellow card to Luke Shaw. They're going to show this incident again in the box with Sesko. Played in, first it was outside the box anyway, and it's just a bit of... He was out-strengthened by Dan Burn. Good, Dan Burn with a shoulder on shoulder. Good play from Dan Burn. But that all culminated in Luke Shaw bringing down Anthony Alanga. Newcastle have a free kick. Luke Shaw's been booked, and Alanga's run back to Trippier. I think it's Trippier taking this one. Burn been marked by Mazraoui this time, but that's a lovely little ball. Didn't quite work, but it was a good effort. Here's Tonali. Ball is blocked. Now it's with Trippier again. Burn's still up there, and Trippier's aiming for him. Burn gets to it. Can we get another header on this? No, we can't. And indeed, and Bremer with a really lackadaisical back heel in his own half, and Newcastle win the ball back. Here's Ramsey. Does well to keep the ball there, Ramsey. Now Tonali. Now Joe Linton steps inside one, goes past two, and it did really well to keep the ball. Joe wants it back. He's not going to get it because there's a long ball to the far side where Alanga is waiting with all the space of St James's Park to move into. Here's Alanga. Cuts inside to his right. Willie knows he's gone on his left. It's my fault for Burn. Didn't. Good play from Alanga, that. Barnes went near post, which was a sensible run to make. But it just wouldn't fall first. Good play from Alanga, though. To run at the defender, to have a go at him, go on the outside of him on his right. It's a good cross. Yeah, you can't really fault any of that, apart from the bad luck we had when Barnes tried to, I think he tried to do a back heel job. Harry Maguire's pulling on him. And defends it quite well, I guess. Here's Burn. Hall. Back to Burn. Last 5 minutes of the first half. Burn has got Fernandes on his case. Ramsdale goes long. Gordon does get a flick onto it, but it's only into the path of Maguire. Joe Linton's had 29 touches first half. Been quite outstanding. Hall's limping there. He went in for a challenge or what, I think. And a bit of pressure coming in. Force Man United back. It's with Maguire. And the Man United half just in the centre circle. Now Yoro, long ball over the top, looking for the run of Sesko. Chow's gone with him. Chow again gives him a nice little bit of physicality. Joe Linton almost wins it back. Good play that from Sesko to get Burmo in. Mainly from distance. Great save, Ramsdale. And Trippier competes the clearance. Yeah, really good effort from Manu that. And a really good save from Ramsdale, who was definitely concentrating on that occasion. Here's Maguire. Robbed there brilliantly by Trippier. And now we're playing back heels in our own half. Here's Chow. Has he ever hit that? No, he hasn't. It's Lewis Hall's first touch ain't superb. He's fouled by Mbemo. And Newcastle will get out of jail free card there. Yeah, very good save that from Ramsdale. He had nothing to do. But it's a great effort first time from Maney. That's heading to the top corner. No doubt about it. But Ramsdale flung himself to his left. Got a big meaty-beaty palm onto it and parried it away. Great save. And the aforementioned Ramsdale will now take the free kick. 7 attempts against 3. Both have one on target. It's not been a bad game, to be fair. Ramsdale, long clearance down the middle of the park. Looking for Joe Linton. Joe Linton stands up Casemiro. Almost fell for Gordon. Long hoof there for Maguire. Will be a throw-in the left-back area for Newcastle, where Lewis Hall picks it up. He's got Tonali running back with him. Gives it to Tonali. Back to Hall. Oh, that's skill from Hall. And he gets a foul as well. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. And Burmo as well. Been booked. Burn back to Ramsdale and now to Trippier. That's a poor pass from Trippier into Elanga. Didn't work. Manu cuts it out. Manu down the middle. Good header though from Spanic Chow into the path of Joe Linton. Joe Linton advances again. He's got, well, that's really poor from Joe Linton. He passed it to Ramsey, who just started a run. A split second before Joe Linton passed it, and the ball went behind him out of play. Looked poor on Joe Linton. Probably wasn't. Just a miscommunication between the two of them. But here's Maguire ambling out with the ball to Bruno Fernandes. And now wide he's gone to Cunha. This time he's going to take Trippier on and goes past him with absolute ease. Joe Linton's trying to get back to him. Cunha shoots. Good hand. Might fall from Bremo. He blasts that over the bar. Should be 1-0 Manchester United. Great goalkeeper again from Ramsdale. But Cunha blasted past Trippier as if he wasn't even there then. There he goes, on the inside of him as well. Decided to shoot. Great handness from Ramsdale, although he did parry it into the middle of the goal. We got fortunate to fall to Burn. It ricocheted off Burn into the path of Mbeumo, who should have scored. No doubt about it. But he's leaning back. He got a little bobble at the same time. And it goes into the back of the stadium there, back of the stand. Should be 1-0. And that would have been a killer for us, just approaching half-time. We wouldn't have deserved that. There's Ramsdale's kick. 3 minutes of added on time. I won't put it up. Can't be asked. Anyway, flick on from Elanga to Gordon. Gordon! It's a great ball. Oh, is it a great ball? Elanga gets there. Good save, Lemens. It was Ramsey, in fact. What a great ball from Gordon that was. He probably could have gone on his own. Man United are asking about something here. Did they want a flag? I don't know. They might have wanted a flag here. I don't know. Flicked on. There's nothing wrong there. Or did they want a goal kick? Maybe. I don't know. Or they want Ramsey doing for diving. He just fell over. Hasn't dived. They want Ramsey sent off, basically, because he's been booked. He's just fallen over. He didn't dive. He's been sent off. Ramsey's been sent off here for a second yellow for diving. That's not a dive, Banks. You can fall over without diving, you know. Fucking Man United players, Maguire and Ramsey on the case. He's not dived. In fact, he's touched him. He's touched him. Oh, has he? From that angle, you can't tell. That's a disgusting decision. Absolutely disgusting. Shocking decision, that. Sorry, that's the... I think you can fall over without diving. He even slipped at the end of his run there. It's a fucking bollocks, that. And then Maguire and Fernandes are on the ref's case. I mean, I think that's disgusting. I honestly think that's disgusting. So we're down to 10 men now. With the most blatant bit of fucking corruption you'd ever seen. Shocking. Here's Maguire. Just taking the edge off. It's been a good first half performance from Newcastle United. And the referee had to get himself involved, but he was encouraged to do so. And now Trippier's lost it. And Cunha gets a block on, gets blocked. Here's Elanga. Back he goes to Trippier. Of course, been a man short now. We're going to have to do extra work in midfield. Joe Linton just sat there. Tonali, good play from him. Gordon, Tonali. Gordon played him in the shit there. But he wins the ball back with a great bit of temerity and urgency. Still Gordon. Cutchins, that's a penalty, referee. Oh, of course he ain't going to give that. Of course he ain't going to give that. Or is it? Or has he give it? Or has he give it? I think he might get a penalty here. Fernandes and Gordon. Bruno Fernandes said, no, you can't give a penalty against me. Gordon did brilliantly to win the ball back. Gets in the box. He's in the box. Cuts inside. It's soft. If it is a penalty at all, as Bruno caught him. He's caught him. It's penalty. They can't overturn that. They can't overturn that. Absolutely not. No, they can't overturn it. There was contact. Brilliant run from Gordon to get in that position in the first place. He'd lost the ball and he went and regained it. And Trippier's trying to get, this time he's supporting of Gordon. He's trying to get in between so Fernandes and them can't get on his case. Well, the referee giveth and then he taketh away. We've been going to do the way this time. He taketh away, then he giveth. It's Gordon against Lemens. Lemens looks very much like Fraser Force, actually. Looks very much like him. So here's Anthony Gordon. This probably be the last kick of the first half. Can he send us into half-time with a 1-goal lead? Gordon. Short run up. Right-footed. Taking his time, steps forward. And scores! Newcastle United 1. Manchester United 0. And it's a goal for Anthony Gordon. Let's do a bit of granny, shall we? Why not? You can find it. That is. Yeah, fantastic penalty from Gordon. Sent Lemens the wrong way. And Newcastle take a deserved 1-goal lead into half-time, I would think, despite being down to 10 men from a ridiculous decision to send off Jacob Ramsey there. From a supposed dive when there was contact and he just fell over. He didn't dive. There was no dive involved. But not a minute later, Anthony Gordon wins the ball back on the halfway line and decides to go for goal. Gets into the area, gets clipped by Bruno Fernandes, picks the ball up, scores. Thank you very much. 1-0 Newcastle. We have something to hold on to for the second half. Brilliant. Really, really good. Ball is with Casemiro. We're still playing. We've got an extra minute. Now it's with Burmo. And it's going to be low block now from Newcastle United. Of course it is. Yoro looking, well, that's an aimless ball. Trippier's got all, that's a really poor header. Should have had a shout there to just let it go. Great play from Elanga. Can Gordon set Elanga in here? Gordon's got in his own here. Comes inside, Gordon. Got Maynard on his case. He eventually goes to Harvey Barnes. Barnes has 2 on him. There's going to be a man spared for Man United. Barnes gets round 2. This might fall for Joe Linton. Nods it forward. Where Gordon's fouled on the edge of the box. Ref ignores it. Oh, dear me. This referee ain't going to be happy. Oh, look at that. Nonsense. Have you ever seen any such shite like that? You fucking... The most blatant dive of the first half goes unpunished. In fact, gets a free kick for it. Mazraoui goes inside Hall. Hall wins the ball back. Ref gives a free kick. Oh, he's starting to get involved now. We're now in the 7th minute, by the way, of 3 minutes added on time. And it's nearly 8 minutes. Yeah, we're now in the 8th minute of added on time when we only had 3. Fuck's sake. Bruno Fernandes has come across at this free kick anyway to Man United. It curves it in near post. Look here, that's a goal. It's 1 each. And it's Casemiro. And I think you can say that the 9 minutes of added on time that it almost is, when it's only meant to be 3. And okay, we have stoppages and what have you. But it's a Casemiro. He scores on goals all of the time, doesn't he? Against us as well, but no defence there. So Casemiro's come near post. There's no offside there. And he's at near post. Lewis falls on him, but Casemiro gets there first, wins the header. And there's nothing Ramsdale can do. So we're now in the 9th minute, going almost for 10 minutes when it's supposed to be 3 minutes of added on time. Yeah, I know we had stoppages, but was there 5 minutes of them? Don't think so. And we're still playing. And now it's half time. What a killer at the end there. What a killer at the end there. Let's do some super chats before I go for Wazarewski. China Wright thinks it was a dive. I think you can fall without diving, if I'm perfectly honest, you know. And there was a little bit of contact. I don't think it's a dive. Anyway, thanks for super chat. Super Sam with a $1.99 super chat. This game is barely watchable. The referee has killed it. I tend to agree with that. I guess that was always going to happen there, wasn't it? Do I think Tuchel will pick Shaw over Hall for World Cup? We shouldn't do. Yeah, lots of corruption comments. I'm going to need to go for Wazarewski. I also will be joining you presently. Won't be long. Welcome back, folks. Yeah. Even the goal that they scored at the end, you should know that when you play Man United, the dangers are Maguire and Casemiro. Yeah, it's a shocker. It's an absolute shocker. What we've got here. $4.99 from Coit Scoy 892. Corruption at its finest, but we haven't taken our chances. Had 5 chances to get a shot on target and scored every one of them. Dan Robertson's been a member for 27 months. I have no faith in PIF or Howe until I see them taking action against the blatant agenda against Newcastle. Something needs to be done beyond a joke. You know, it happens that often. You think it has to be something like that, don't you? You know? I just don't believe that he's booked Jacob Ramsey on the say-so of someone like fucking Bruno Fernandes, who's fucking done more diving than a fucking Stuka. You know? To be fair, the refs give us a soft pen. It's not a soft pen. He's made contact in the box. It's simple as that. He's caught his leg. He might not have meant it, but it's a foul. Yeah, Chipper says £5 super chat. Thanks, mate. If that's a red for diving, then we'll get a red card every game. The amount of diving that goes on. Well, it's his second yellow, isn't it? But again, I don't think the referee's doing it without Fernandes and Maguire on his case. And Bruno Fernandes has got a fucking cheek. Moan about someone diving. It wasn't a dive. He fell over after he landed. You can fall over without diving. Of course you can. The amount of times I fell over on the way back from the pub without diving, you can't you? It's, you know, it's ridiculous. And the last thing I thought of when I was actually commentating on it, what I thought they were looking, maybe they were trying to give us a corner, or that's what I thought. I didn't see a red card at all, a yellow card. You know, for diving. That's the last thing I looked at. I thought maybe it would be a corner, and they were arguing about that, or had to give a penalty. Yeah, and like people are saying, he didn't even appeal. It's ridiculous, ridiculous decision. Again, though, the game's been ref by Bruno Fernandes. And as for the Gordon penalty, well, that is a penalty because he has made contact in the box. And then to get 9 minutes extra from the penalty and the sending off, which the sending off took about a minute. Didn't take that much long, maybe a minute and a half. And the penalty, it wasn't. I don't think it even went to VAR, did it? You know? Ian says the goalie caught his back foot enough to put him up balance. Yeah, I agree. There was definitely contact there. And if that's the case, it should be a fucking penalty, shouldn't it? No, never mind a dive. I agree. Begging the ref for a red card is puke. It is. Of course it is. Yeah, I'm really pissed off with that, if I'm perfectly honest. Really pissed off. Referee influencing the game again. Fucking pisses you off, doesn't it? It does. It pisses you off. Dan rewound it when he was in the loo. When I was in the loo. Oh, right. The time-wise, you mean? Yeah. I think the time thing is actually the worst bit of it. I think the fact that he sent him off on the say-so of Bruno Fernandes, saying he's dived, is ridiculous. I do, honestly. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, Bruno Fernandes of all people. Fuck me. But I do agree with people saying that we should have defended that free kick more. Casemiro and Maguire are the two dangers. You know that. It's the first time Joe Linton's been away from Casemiro in the whole of the first half. Yeah. He's a danger. He's done it to us before, to be fair. Anyway, we are back to one apiece, and that seems like a defeat after what happened there. But, you know, scoring so late in the first half, and then to them to equalise so late. Oh, Valerie, I agree with you. I think Ramsey does get clipped. I agree. So what are we thinking second half then? Are we just going to hang on and try and hang on for a point, or are we going to try and win the game? I think with the pace up front we've got, I think we can still create chances. We needed to score after our... We did score after our went to 10 men. Yeah, there was definitely contact on Jacob Ramsey. So in which case, not only is it not a red card, it's a fucking penalty. Surely. Anyway, second half, we're lucky we've got the pace on. Alanga, Gordon. I want Barnes to get involved more, if I'm perfectly honest. That pace might help. It should help if we just play over the top of them and run onto it. Chipper says, getting sure he's booked. Yeah, he is. But you can guarantee that the referee won't do anything about him. Yes, I imagine Paul and them will be spitting bloody sparks at the game. Absolutely. It's just annoying, isn't it? Because it always happens to them every frigging... You watch them every week, you'd think, well, how are these not getting so many bloody decisions for them? I mean, that was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Apparently, Mark Goldbridge is saying that he didn't dive. There you go. I think that speaks volume, if I'm perfectly honest. Anyhow, Man City and Forest are 2 apiece. In the 90th minute, so they've got 7 to add on. I don't know what Arsenal did at Brighton, but I mean, Forest getting points doesn't help us any, does it? If I'm perfectly honest, it doesn't, no. Anyway, can we just say how great Joe Linton was the first half? He was absolutely outstanding, and to be honest, so was Gordon. Goal, shot on target. Well, obviously it's a penalty. 31 touches. When you'd think he might get isolated a little bit, 4 touches in the opponent's box. Always looked a threat with his pace. And Casemiro's, he must have had a leg transplant in December, because he's looked an absolute world star again since Carrick came in. I think we can be satisfied with our first half performance, but I think we've definitely been done by the ref there. No doubt in my mind. And it might sound sour grapes. It probably does sound sour grapes, but it happens that bloody often. And incidentally, that was another assist for Bruno Fernandes, and he now has 14 assists in the Premier League this season, which is 6 clear of Ryan Cherky and 7 clear of Erling Haaland. Yeah, so there you go. Teams will be out circumspectly soon, I imagine. I don't know what Eddie Howe's going to say. We're just going to have to do it on the counter, aren't we, with the pace of Gordon and Alanga. Until they're out of steam, and then just trying to hang on, I guess. But if we can get another goal to defend, I mean, the fact we got that goal straight after the red card was fantastic. But to concede straight away, that really pissed me off. I've got to be honest. Anyhow, the Man United team are on the way out to the pitch. They would have had a flea in their ear, I imagine. Although Michael Carrick looks the calmest bloke in the ground, to be fair to him. Having a word with the former Newcastle centre-half, Jonathan Woodgate there, who's on his coaching staff. Former teammates, of course, at Spurs. And here come the Newcastle United side now. And Joe Willock's coming on. Alanga's still on. Is it for Barnes? I think he's coming for Harvey Barnes, folks. I didn't see Harvey Barnes come out with the rest of them. So I think it's Willock for Barnes. Yeah, so will Willock go and play on the left-hand side and be probably better defensively than Harvey Barnes is? I'm not sure, but I can't imagine Harvey Barnes being happy about that. Second game in a row that it is for Harvey Barnes that Joe Willock's come on for him at half-time. Anyway, we are ready for the second half to kick off. Newcastle going towards the Gallagate. And we are off. Indeedy. Ball is back with Aaron Ramsdale. Long clearance forward. Looking for... Please don't tell me Joe Linton's on the left wing again. Because I think he is. Here's Willock. And now it's Chow. Now Trippier. Willock comes short for him. Trippier trying to pass it through too. Willock did well to win the ball back. And win a throw-in. Did good play that from Willock, winning the throw off Cunha. I do believe Joe Linton's gone back to the left wing, folks. Or would you call it a left midfield? I guess it's a left midfield position, isn't it? Anyhow, long throw coming in from Trippier here. I'm not sure he has the guns to get very far. He doesn't. It goes straight to the feet of and ends up being a throw into Man United because the header came off Alanga and went straight into touch. I mean, he managed to get it to just about the area. Here's Maguire. Nice bit of skill and calmness from him to get him away from Alanga in his own penalty area. He goes square to Luke Shaw. Tonali's looking like he's pushing up. Where is Joe Linton now? Joe Linton's back in the middle again. So it looks like Gordon's on the left now, which probably makes sense. Alanga's central. For poor touch out from Gordon, but he does try and win the ball back. Fails though. Yoro has it at the precise moment in time. And he just plays it inside for Kobe Mainu. Yeah, it looks like a 4-4-1, folks. Looks like Willock wide right, Gordon wide left, and Joe Linton and Tonali in the middle. But Gordon's negating his duties already, and Joe Linton's having to go back and cover with Lewis Hall, where Burma has the ball. Tries to cross it and has overhit that by a good 10-15 yards out of play for a goal kick to Newcastle United. Southgate's former England coach as well. He's involved in Man United, Steve Holland. But Michael Carrick's clearly the boss of that. And you can't argue with the job he's done at Old Trafford. He's pushed them from the mid-table area he was when they went to the top three. Anyway, long clearance from Ramsdale. Joe Linton gets a flick onto it. It's not going to fall for a Newcastle player. Masraoui clears it. Chest down by Hall. Now Joe Linton. Gordon went for a back flick. Didn't work. Ricocheted off the legs of Masraoui, and it's the throw into Newcastle. Which Lewis Hall will take. And he goes back to Tonali. Back to Hall. Not got a lot of room to operate in there. And in fact loses out. Trying to do too much. Little flick forward from Cunha to Sesko. And now in Burma running against Burner. There's no race there. Joe Linton trying to get a good tackle from Willock. Outstanding defence from him. lays it back to Ramsdale. It looked a bit iffy there for a second, but Joe Willock stepped back just at the right time, to be honest. In the nick of time, even. Here's Joe Linton. Gordon. It's a foul ref. Thank you very much. Mazraoui shakes his head. You can't give fouls against me. I play for Manchester United, he says. And it's a Newcastle free kick, which we are taking our time over, to say the least. Sandro tonight has gone on to take it. Chow and Byrne have both gone forward. Floated in, looking for a Newcastle head. Finds the head of Mainu. Head forward from Chow. Doesn't go anywhere. And now it's Mainu who lays it out, but that's going to be won back by Willock again. Trippier. Chow. And now Tonali. He's got space to run into here. Good play from Tonali. Moved into the space convincingly. But the pass is horrific. And Mazraoui steps past him with ease. And he can now step forward, plays it wide for Mainu here. It's not Mainu, it's Cunha. He's got Fernandez to his left. And he plays it way ahead of Fernandez and out of play for a goal kick. And, well, can we just say that was a real waste of a really good situation for Manchester United? And I, for one, am ecstatic. Joshua Zirkzee is warming up. Aaron Ramsdale's definitely taking his time over the goal kicks, which Tonali did over the last set piece we had, to be honest. Yeah, I think we are trying to hang on here. Maybe nick a goal, who knows? Here's Ramsdale, long kick. Looking for Joe Linton. He's pushed, but the referee didn't see it. Chest down from Byrne to Chow, and he wanders it back to Ramsdale. Ramsdale's first touch is good. He clears it right down the middle of the park. Looking for a Lango against Maguire. There's only one winner there. And Man United would bring the ball away. But Byrne has it. Byrne to Joe Linton. Big Joe. Looking for someone to pass to. Manages to pick out Malik Chow. And now Trippier. First time ball into Alanga's cut out by Bruno Fernandes. Will be a throw into Newcastle. Here's Joe Linton. Back to Chow. And now to Ramsdale, who's 10 yards outside his penalty area. Just manoeuvres it to Dan Byrne to his left. Dan Byrne with a big transition pass over here to Trippier. Trippier takes it down on his chest. Down the line he goes, where Joe Willock's awaiting. Joe Willock up against Shaw. Back he goes to Trippier. He's got a ball inside for Joe Linton. Joe Linton trying to get past Casemiro. Plays a nice ball for Trippier. Trippier's got a chance to cross us in. Edge of the area where Tonali is. Lays it back for Gordon. Gordon from distance. It's on target. Straight down the throat of Lemens. But it's on target. Lemens kicks it down the pitch. Flicks off Sesko's head. Trippier nods it back calmly to Aaron Ramsdale, who controls it. Plays it for Byrne. Byrne wanted to go to Hall, but he couldn't. Because when Burmo cut off the pass, went back to Ramsdale, and now it's with Malik Chow. And now Trippier. Good ball for Willock. First time passing against Gordon in. Didn't see it. And it will go out for a goal kick. It's very unfortunate that Willock didn't see the run of Gordon because he'd run into a great little area. And a little dink or a little deft pass through the middle had him in on goal. So goal kick, which Maguire takes to Lemens. And Lemens plays to Yoro. Lewis Hall getting up the pitch to press. Lemens to Luke Shaw. Alanga is in on him quickly. And wins the ball. Well played, Alanga. Now Joe Linton. And he'll get a free kick for that. Fouled by Casemiro. Well played, Anthony Elanga to win the ball. I don't think Casemiro's been booked, has he? No, I don't think he has. Maybe he should have been there. Anyway, it's a free kick. We are about 40 yards from goal. We're on a slight angle on the right-hand side. And so Kieran Trippier will be floating it up, looking for one of the big men to get ahead on it. I imagine. Burns there. Chow's there. They're trying to make contact with Joe Willock for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they wanted to get on a rebound of some kind here. Anyway, Chow floats it in. Sorry. So it's a far post and there's... Let's give a free kick. That was fucking nonsense. It's blatant, though. It's a blatant free kick. Burners just ran in front of the ref and pushed over Maguire. Just fucking schoolboyish. Here's Man United on the attack with Burmo. Back to Yoro. Yoro will play at wide for Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw to Cunha. Back to Luke Shaw. Trippier puts a bit of pressure on. And Elanga puts a bit on Maguire, but they get out of it quite easily. They have a spare man, of course. And so there's always someone waiting in space at some point. Here's Mazraoui on the outside of Hall, goes to Mburmo. Mburmo come inside for Fernandez. Bit of pinball football there, looking for the run of Mburmo, but Burn gets there. Now Joe Linton can't lose the ball there, Joe. And doesn't. Well played. Willock, man up his back. And plays it backwards to Chow. And now Burn. And now Hall. Back to Dan Burn. Dan Burn with that long transitional pass again. This time, Cooney's on it, so I don't know if Trippier can get it. Good little touch from Trippier. Beautiful. And now it's Elanga. He's got the run of Gordon, but Luke Shaw's tracking Elanga. And Elanga does safety first and goes to Hall. Here's Joe Linton. Wide then for Elanga, who's on the left-hand side now. Up against Luke Shaw. Now Joe Linton again. Now Lewis Hall's got a bit of space to move into. Can't cross it. There's no one in the box. Joe Linton. Back to Dan Burn. And now Malik Chow. Ball through. That's a great little ball for Willock, who's got beyond Yoro there. Yoro knows 37. It's Mainu, who did get back and get a sliding tackle in. But it will be a corner for Newcastle United. Lovely ball that from the German, Chow. In behind Mainu. Good run from Willock, but good defensive work in the end from Mainu to get the ball away for a corner. This is Newcastle's first corner of the game. It's going to be an outswinger from Kieran Trippier. So Dan Burn and Malik Chow have gone to the edge of the box. They've been followed by Luke Shaw and Lenny Yoro. Joe Linton has now joined them. Mazraoui's getting involved. The linesman telling Trippier to move the ball back in, but it's already in. And he's going to float it in and outswing. Here it comes, looking for Newcastle head. Can he find one? Joe Linton gets his head on it, but it only fell to Burmo to clear it. Excuse me. Ramsdale to Hall. Hall down the middle. Could Willock win that in the air? He does get win in the air. And Dan Burn was still up there. And will stay up there, I think. It's going to be a throw to Newcastle. Joe Willock's holding his eye for some reason. Maybe he's got something in it, I don't know. But the ball is back in play. It's with Malik Chow. Dan Burn yet to get back from that corner, by the way. He's just about to enter the fray now in the defensive positions. Ramsdale's gone long. Looking for Elanga. Winning the air by Shaw. Poor header from Tonali. Falls for Cunha. Cunha evades Trippier. Evades Willock. Gets past Trippier. Great tackle from Trippier. You are having an absolute laugh. Takes the ball off Cunha. Cunha falls over. And the ref points for a free kick. Now, if you want to see a fucking dive, That's one there. Unbelievable. Man United about to make subs. Dallow's about to come on. Amongst others. Here's Mbermo, far side of the pitch. Going against Hall. Here's Mazraoui. Possibly his last action. And now Mainu. I think Ugarte was ready to come on as well. Here's Shaw. Inside from Kobe Mainu. Bruno Fernandes. Shaw again. Cunha. Nice possession football, this from Man United, but are they getting anywhere? Not really. Shaw later back from Mainu. Back to Shaw. It's all very intricate, but they're not getting anywhere. Fernandes, nice little spin, gets himself a yard. Now Cunha, wide for Burma, but Hall steps in. Hall loses it in a really bad place, but doesn't get a free kick either. Burn wanted one, but never going to get one. It's Fernandes. Fernandes trying to play us a great ball. Good defending from Malik Chow. And somehow we get away with it. It's a goal kick. What a pass that was from Bruno Fernandes in behind the defenders there. Absolute sublime. That's a fantastic ball. And, well, I think Mbeumo could have done better there. Lucky for us, Malik Chow stood tall and blocked it. But what a ball that is. And now Shaw's gone off for Dalot, I think. Casemiro's coming off. For Ugarte, I imagine. I think Mazraoui's gone to left back. And Ugarte will just step into where Casemiro was. Goal kick to Newcastle anyway. That Aaron Ramsdale's going to lump down the middle of the park. Aiming in the general direction of Joe Linton, it's over his head. Maguire gets a nod on it. Hall is getting pressured by Mbeumo here. But does well to turn past Mbeumo. Probably wants to do too much, but goes back to Burn this time. Safety first. Well played, Lewis Hall. Now Ramsdale to Chow. Chow takes it and goes forward to Trippier. Trippier all the way back to Aaron Ramsdale. Burn spare. And Burn gets it. And Fernandes is the man on the press. Now Hall. Nowhere to go for Hall. He has to go back to Dan Burn. And Dan Burn does lump it in the end, looking for Alanga, who's definitely moved into an auxiliary right wing, left wing, centre forward position at the minute. And he's doing it quite well, to be fair. He's competing. Here's Mainu. And now Yoro. Wide to the far side where Diogo Dalot gets his first touch. Inside for Fernandes. An ambitious little flick looking for the run of Mbeumo. But Mbeumo doesn't make the run. There's Mr. Shearer in the crowd. Wonder what his feelings will be on the refereeing performance tonight. Yeah, there's people waving below. Looks like Mark Butcher, the England cricketer, but I don't think it is him. Anyway, it's a throw into Newcastle. Right flank. 10 yards inside the Man United half, which Kieran Trippier will take. All right, we've seen Alan Shearer a million times. We want to see the match. Trippier goes all the way back to Chow. Chow has the ball to Ramsdale, and Ramsdale can take a little bit of time and pick out Burn, and he does do. Here's Dan Burn, approaching the halfway line. To Lewis Hall on the left flank there. Lewis Hall has to come backwards. And Newcastle just maintaining possession here without real press from Man United. Long ball from Ramsdale, looking for Trippier. This time, Cunha wins it in the air. Nods out for throw to Newcastle, and we've gained about 10 yards since the last one we had. Here's a... It's a Langer. Oh, it's a foul there by Mazraoui. He has been booked. And that's a yellow card for me, that one. And of course, the ref hasn't got no feelings about going for a second yellow there. That's a yellow card. He's got no chance of getting the ball. I'm pretty sure he's been booked. I'm sure he's booked first half. It's a dangerous free kick this for Newcastle. Edge of the area, corner of it, right-hand side. Well, Burn, Trippier and Tonali are in the discussion about what's going to happen here. It's going to get floated in, obviously. Can we get a goal in front again? Now Gordon's gone to join this this conversation. Obviously, there's a set play being set up here because Burn has now gone and passed on instructions to Joe Linton and Chow. Of course, we've got to win the header first. Gordon's made his way into the box also. Tonali's going to take it, I think. Here is Tonali, little floaty one, looking for a Newcastle header! Oh, it nearly fouled too! It nearly fouled for a Newcastle player, but didn't quite. Gordon wants a handball. We're getting a corner. Joe Linton's looking for a handball. And we're going to get one here. Let's have a look. Cross comes in. Ooh. If I'm being honest, it didn't look like one. Obviously, we're going to get one view of it. VAR still checking. We've only had one view and it was from the wrong side of the pitch. No penalty. The man in the Gallagate was blatantly saying that obviously not going to get a penalty for this, and he showed his disgust with his arm signals there. Here's Tonali for an in-swinger. The ball moved there on the quadrant. In it comes. Looking for a Newcastle head. It's gone to the far post. He was left alone. Just couldn't get to it in time. And ended up just getting a foot to it, but going wide, obviously. But very clever run off the ball. It just couldn't get to it. It's a great effort. Just maybe a split second too late getting there. Here's Willock. Trying to give it to Trippier, but didn't quite work. Went out for a throw-in. Well, halfway through the second half almost, and I think we've given as much as we've got second half, if I'm perfectly honest. If not, maybe a little bit on top here. Here's Maguire. 51-49 in possession, 2 second half attempts against none for them. So, as I said, I think we're slightly on top here. Here's Dallo. Back to, is that Yoro or Maguire? It's Maguire. Of course it is. How could I fail to miss the oblong head? Here's Yoro. And now Dallo's got a lot of space to move into. Joe Linton goes back to cover it. Back he goes. To Ugarte. Now Maynard's got a little bit of space in front of the penalty area. Gordon's quick to step in front of him and try and block that avenue off. And Man United playing in front of us now. Looking for... try and pull us out maybe. Here's Cunha. He's got the skills to get back Trippier if he wants to. Plays it in. Mazraoui's on the overlap if he wants him, but Cunha's got it and Trippier's going into him. And Trippier's not having it, and in fact he's fouled. And now let's have a look at this. Well, it's very much like the Dan Burn one in the first half. Elbow in the face. Yeah. But Newcastle taking the time overtaking this. Very much been time wasting since the second half started, if I'm perfectly honest. But we have no need to. Obviously, we're going to run out of a bit of steam. Obviously, they're a fresher side than us. They've played something like 15 less games this season than we have. Ramsdale will launch it high into the Tyneside sky to absolutely nobody in particular, and out of play it'll go. Not a Newcastle player within 20 yards of that clearance from Ramsdale. Man United rally it back on the pitch quickly. Yoro to Harry Maguire. And now Mazraoui. Back he goes to Maguire. Dallow's got a bit of space on that far side again. Looks like Dallow's the one they're leaving as a spare man. Inside here for Mazraoui. He's got a chance to shoot from distance. Gets inside one. Tries to place it. Gets a block. And in the end, Newcastle can't get rid of it. Cunha. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Dangerous this from Manchester United. He's got a pass out to the far side if he wants to use it, but doesn't. Goes to Dallow instead. Now Burmo crosses it, looking for the header of Sesko. Doesn't get to him. Here's Joe Linton, who slips on the ball in his own penalty area. Unfortunately for us, and Burmo kicks out for a goal kick. That could have been nasty. I mean, had Joe Linton caught and Burmo then instead of the ball, after slipping on the ball, well, I think we know there'd have been one where that was going. Long ball from Ramsdale, looking for Joe Linton. Gordon in the tussle with Dallow. Dallow wins out and plays the ball down the line. In fact, he plays the ball out of touch into a Newcastle throwing area, which Lewis Hall will take. Here's Joe Linton, now Hall. And Dan Burn. And now Ramsdale. Pressure coming on. Ramsdale calmly rolls to Chow. Chow with a long ball. Straight to the chest of Mainu. Good challenge from Alanga. Referee doesn't think so. Thinks it's a foul challenge. He gives him a free kick. Here's Mazraoui. Now Fernandes. And now Mazraoui again. To Maguire. Definitely defending it's like a 4-3-2 at this precise moment in time. So we are looking for counter-attack opportunities. The referee penalises Willock there for foul. And in fact, he might even book him for that. I can see Willisula warming up. I can see Jacob Murphy warming up. And I can also see Johan Visser warming up. Free kick to Man United. It certainly wasn't there. I would say it was 20 yards further back than that and more towards the touchline. Bruno Fernandes managed to manoeuvre it into a position where he could float nicely into the box, where Dallow, Maguire, Yoro. In fact, he plays a 1-2 with Mainu and then floats it in. Oh, he should let it run there. And Burmo, Dallow, falls into Dan Burn. Dan Burn is then cleared by Tonali. Foot race from Alanga. Doesn't make it. Mazraoui's there to cover. And Burmo. Dallow. Now Fernandes got some space to move into here. It's dangerous from here. Well, he tried a little ball into Sesko. And it was slightly overhit and it goes out for a goal kick. Not quite found his range tonight, Bruno Fernandes. And with the passing. Played with the outside of his boot, but he's overhit it by 4 or 5 yards there. Not happy with himself. Ramsdale with a long clearance again. Into the Tyneside Knights. Just past the moon there. Full moon on show. Flick on from Joe Linton. Yoro nods it wide for Dallow. Now Ugarte. Now Burmo. And now Fernandes. And Ugarte's made a lovely run down that far side. Picks up Dan Burn's there. Dan Burn gets there too. And slides out and gets a good boot on it. I think it's a corner. Great effort from Dan Burn to get there. Yeah, he wasn't letting Ugarte get past there. And he's happy with that challenge. Do you know what? If he was 6'4", he wouldn't have made that challenge. He wouldn't have reached it. He needed all of his column inches there to get the ball. In-swing corner coming from Burma. In it comes. Burn gets a good head to it, but it only goes to the edge of the area. Dallo nods it for Fernandez. He might try and bend one. It's a great cross. Great save, Ramsdale. Yoro with a header. Outstanding save. Had no right to make it. Yoro should have scored. Beautiful cross from Fernandez to pick him out. Here's Fernandez again. We're living on our nerves here. Fernandez tries to float another corner in. This time, Joe Willock manages to make a challenge. What a save that was from Aaron Ramsdale. What a save. Great cross. Great header. He was on target. But what a little ball this is from Fernandez. Really good. And Yoro's in marked far post. But Ramsdale waits the last second before he goes down and puts a hand on it. And we escape. Here's Yoro again. Wide to Dallo. Now Mainu. Into Mburmo. Hall tries to get challenges. He's out-strengthened. Dallo back to Mburmo again. Tonali's in front of him. Now Mainu again. And now Fernandez. Little ball in behind for Mburmo. We're defending deep and deeper here, folks. Header over the bar. For Mugarte. We are visibly dropping deeper and deeper here, folks. Yes. Can we last out another 15? Sorry, 15 and another half an hour here. Ramsdale thought we were in trouble there. Anyway, Man United are making changes. Ahmad's coming on and so Xerxes. And it's a midfielder coming off. Mainu's coming off. And so is Burmo. So there's no respite here. In fact, Carrick's made an attacking change here. Ramsdale is looking for a bit of treatment here, I think. So Joshua Xerxes, it's an attacking change. This has to be said. Xerxes and Ahmad on. Xerxes is an attacking player. Mainu's sat in the double pivot. So I wonder if that means that Fernandez will go back there. Might do. They're having a big conference here, the Man United squad. Excuse me. But so in Newcastle, while Aaron Ramsdale receives his treatment, fluids on board, energy gels being taken. I don't know what change Eddie can make here. I think he's behind a rock and a hard place here. I'm stuck between them anyway. I just don't see what benefits Whistle will give us. Maybe a Sula would give us a bit of physicality, a bit of running capabilities. Arsenal are now 7 clear of Man City, by the way. Manchester United currently in third, a point ahead of current standings, that is, with this game at 1 each. A point ahead of Aston Villa. And Chelsea are 3 points behind them alongside Liverpool. Anyhow, Ramsdale's okay to continue. And he takes the goal kick. Doesn't get much distance on this one, but well, it's bounced about 15 times now, and now Willock will step in and take the ball. Goes past Dallo, and he's fouled by Dallo. That'll be a free kick all day and every day, twice on a Sunday. Good play from Joe Willock there. Dallo found wanting defensively, as he usually is. And this will be a good free kick for Newcastle. Can we get ahead on it? Get ourselves in front. Give us something to hold on to. Always nice to have something to hold on to, folks. Dan Burns gone forward again. There's definitely hope in the crowd. Definitely mismatches in the air as well. I mean, Ugarte and Dallo on Dan Burn, that's a definite mismatch. Dan Burn's got to be the aim. It's got to be the aim here. He's got to get himself a little bit of space. Tonali's gone to take the free kick. It's about 10 yards from the byline. And it's about 4 yards into the touchline. Better than a corner. Can he get this in the right place? Can we get ourselves in front? Tonali signals, floats it in, looking for Newcastle head. Oh, it just went over the top of Chow. And Laman's got a good punch on it. It's Hall. Hall trying to play it between 5 players, and the counter's on here. Xerxes has it. And Xerxes managed to get it to Cunha. And Cunha thinks Cunha's he thinks Cunha's dived there. And Trippier's going to get booked. Does he dive? We'll see here. I think he does. I think Carrick thought for a minute he was going to send him off. I think Cooney's been booked. Clearly there was contact because Trippier then mouthed, "You ran into my leg." So obviously not a dive. But anyway, here's Man United with a free kick. I've taken it already. Fast on the pitch where Amad Diallo is. Ugarte loses out. Joe Linton. Now Tonali. Now Gordon. Straight into the midriff of Dallo. Gordon wins the ball back off Dallo. He's in shit street here. He's going to lose. He's fouled in the end. Well played, Gordon. Diego Dallo with a ridiculous challenge. He had us in trouble there. Gordon managed to maintain possession. Win us a free kick. Been a very game and battling performance tonight from the lads. You've got to give them credit. He's pulling his shirt and then he pulls him to the floor. Ridiculous. And Gordon has whacked it into Yolo's face and, well, he's okay. In the little bit of play before that, I thought it had gone into Dallo's midriff, but actually gone into Yolo's face, full blast. And he's holding the side of his neck now. Anyway, Newcastle players get themselves to the halfway line, and now Ramsdale's going to hoof it. I think we nicked a few yards there as well. Maguire wins the ball comfortably in the air. Tonali. Flicked on from Joe Linton. Doesn't get beyond Yoro. Diallo plays it back to Dallo. Now Yoro and now Mazraoui. Cunha to his left. Mazraoui goes past Willock. Plays it into Xerxes, who's come deep to receive it. Gives it back to Mazraoui. And gives it back to Xerxes. Xerxes back to Mazraoui. Can Willock get a foot in there? Yes, he can. And Joe Linton wins the ball. Now Gordon. What's his pace like in his late part of the game? Ugarte robs him. And now Diallo. The players all over the place here. Mazraoui's limping. Here's Cunha up against Trippier. Yellow card now, Trippier, of course. Can't go diving in. Back to Fernandez. Tried to chip the keeper. And it was an ambitious effort, to say the least. Over the bar it went. Definitely not a Philippe Albert. It's not really a chip, to be fair. It's in between a chip and a place, and it was crap. Mazraoui's limping quite visibly now. I think they've made all their subs as well. So if we can just get Alangu on a runner with Mazraoui, we could be in business here. But as just to say that, Jacob Murphy's about to come on. And Willasula. Alanga beaten in the air. Here's Byrne. Trying to play it in behind Dallo. Didn't work. Dallo took it down nicely. Here's Bruno Fernandes. It's actually with Mazraoui. He's limping quite visibly bad. Here's Cunha. Gives it back to Mazraoui. He doesn't really want the ball because he can hardly walk. Now Bruno Fernandes. He's playing very deep now in the double pivot. Now Cunha. In behind for Xerxes. Joe Willock fell asleep there. But it's over the head of everybody. Will it keep it in? Ugarte keeps it in, plays it back to Yoro. Fernandez trying to find a Man United player. He found Cunha. And Trippier's got cramp. Good defending from Trippier, and I think we've won a goal kick out of that. Well played, Kieran Trippier, who, to be fair to him, has played very well tonight. In fact, all the back four have, if I'm perfectly honest. Really good play from Trippier to actually defend that. Not sure if it's a goal kick or a corner, but brilliant defending from Trippier. Jacob Murphy's on. I imagine it'll be Gordon and Elanga coming off. And well played to the two of them. Can't fault with effort tonight. Asula's going to play central, or between the two of them, they've got to cover the whole of the front line, I guess. Yeah, Asula and Murphy on for Elanga and Gordon. And they're bringing on Tyrell Malasia for the stricken Mazraoui. There'll be a lot of stoppage time here, folks. There's been lots of substitutions and quite a few trainers coming on the pitch as well. So I expect a large lump of added on time, especially if this score remains the same. Ramsdale isn't happy about that. Here's Asula. Now Joe Linton. Now Hall. Transitional ball for Trippier. It's a good one, and Trippier does really well take it down too. Steps inside Cunha, plays it down the line for Murphy. Murphy goes to the byline, gets a cross in. It's a good one as well. I think he's gone out of play though, and it'll be a goal kick. Yeah. Here's Yoro for Manchester United. Advancing the ball from the penalty area. No one on the press, and he can go as far as he wants. Finally, Asula does put a bit of pressure on, and he plays it backwards then to Harry Maguire. Here's Bruno Fernandes in a very deep quarterback role. Now Cunha, again, going up against Trippier. This time, he's helped out by Murphy. Trying to play a ball. Good header from Chow. And another one from Joe Linton. Another one from Tonali. Asula, Joe Linton. And Newcastle can play it away. Here's Trippier. Good play that from Newcastle. Good defending. Long chip down the pitch to nobody. It's just a bit of territory gained there from Kieran Trippier. Will be a throw to Man United in their own half. Which is taken quickly. Here's Ugarte. Again, no pressure on him. He can advance the ball as far as he really wants. Plays it square for Lenny Yoro, who joins in with the attack. Back to Ugarte. And then back to Yoro again. Joe Linton goes towards him. Back to Ugarte. And now Fernandes. Trying to draw us out, and it's not working at the moment. But at least we're not as deep as we were 10, 15 minutes ago. The changes seem to have helped that. Anyway, trying to play some football here. Xerxes goes to the area. Tries to go past Chow. It's going to fall for... Well, it fell for Cunha. Blocked it was, though. And the ball's now on his far side with Cunha again on his near side. Murphy fell asleep there. Let him go. Trippier was alive to it. Brilliant from Trippier. Can he clear it? Plays a nice ball for Murphy. Murphy can clear it. Terrible for Murphy. Good pressure from Asula to try and win the ball back. But Murphy's got to wake up. He's gone on the pitch. He's made two terrible passes. Fernandes. Good pressure from Hall. Dallo goes past Willett this time. And we're in trouble here. Here's Diallo up against Joe Linton. Here's Fernandes in the penalty area. Ugarte blasts when it's blocked. Can Joe Linton keep that in? Yes, he can. And not only can he keep it in, he takes it past Dallo and plays it backwards to Lewis Hall. Well played, Joe Linton. Long clearance down the pitch to nobody. It's just attack v defence in this first moment in time. 2 minutes to go of the 90. And we are hanging on by a thread here. Here's Xerxes. Xerxes going to go for one from distance. What a save, Ramsdale. What a save that is. I think Xerxes thought he'd scored. And to be honest with you, I thought he'd scored. He decided to have a go. He's 25 yards out, trying to bend it in the top corner. It's a great effort. And Ramsdale appears at the last minute in the last frame just to fling out his right hand, get a strong wrist on it and put it out for a corner. Outstanding save from Ramsdale. He's had a good night tonight. Corner for Manchester United, which Bruno Fernandes has gone across to take. Floats it in. It's not Bruno Fernandes. Joe Willock has it. Joe Willock's trying to outrun Ugarte and didn't quite do it. Now it's with Diallo. That's a terrible pass. And it will be a throw to Newcastle just left of the penalty area, and we can breathe for a minute. It's a wonderful try from Xerxes. It's going in. It's a fantastic save. It really is. I think it's fair to say there'll be no justice if we manage to lose this one. I think we've been really good. Poor that from Joe Linton, though. Left some trouble here. Fernandez through the middle. So Suli did really well there to get in front of Fernandez. And now he's gone on looking for the ball back. He's not going to keep that, is he? Yes, he does. Great play from Masula. Manages to maintain his footing. Steps inside one. Tries to bend. What a goal! What a fucking goal! Masula! He's bent in! And for all me saying he's not a Premier League player, that's world class! What a goal that is! An absolute phenomenal strike! Great run! Great tenacity! Great urgency! I've got tears in my fucking eyes because of it! What a goal that is! And we've got to have Granny, because that's a fucking brilliant goal. What a goal that is. It's an outstanding, brilliant work to win the ball in the first place. He gave it to Trippier. Trippier just played the ball just for him to try and run it and keep a bit of pressure on, but he kept it in. Nearly fell over. Malacia came back to help him. He couldn't decide him, and he thought, well, I'm going to bend one with left foot. He bent one all right, straight into the far corner. That's Newcastle United's best goal of the season. What a goal from Willisula. And as I say, I've criticised him. He'll never be a Premier League footballer as long as he's got a hold of his arse. I stand corrected, said the man in the orthopaedic shoe. That is brilliant. That is absolutely outstanding. What a goal that is. What a goal that is. 5 minutes of added on time. 5 minutes of added on time. Which I'm amazed at. Actually, I thought it'd be a lot more than that. But and then again, it doesn't mean anything, does it? He could play for 20 minutes, this ref. Brilliant goal from Masula and Aaron Ramsdale celebrating. The whole crowd are celebrating. Eddie Howe celebrating. Jason Tyndall celebrating. Just what a goal that is. What a goal. Lemens hoofs it forward. The great Dane. Absolutely. Poor pass that from Yoro. It's gone over Yazurki's head. It's a throw to Newcastle. We're already 2 minutes into this added on 5. Poor that from Newcastle, but Joe Linton steps in. He's been the governor in that midfield tonight, Joe Linton. And once again, there's 2 balls in the pitch here, mate. You can't take it yet. But they do. I think they've given Dan Burn man of the match. I think that might be a good choice because he had a really good game. Anyway, can we hold out for another 3 minutes or 23 minutes, however fucking long Banks plays? Joe Linton decides to win the ball in the air again. The governor. Malacia goes all the way back to the keeper. Space on the far side. Here's Xerxes picking it up in between the forward and the midfield. Tries to chip out of the top. Trippier's on the cover. Doesn't get there. And Maguire's up front now, and it's a goal kick. Slabhead deflected out. And Slabhead's gone to retrieve the ball. Cool. Do you know what? Fortune favours the fucking brave. And that's what we've had tonight. Fortune. I don't think it is Fortune. It's brave. It's fantastic. What a second half performance it's been from Newcastle United. In fact, what a performance, full stop. It's been really, really good tonight. Can't argue with any of it. And the Newcastle fans are in full voice. And we've got another minute and a half to go. But Peter Banks, well, we had 3 minutes first half and he played 8, so we're 9. Ball from Trippier, just trying to get a bit of territory down the pitch. This is where the ball needs to be for Newcastle United. Here's Ugarte. Bruno Fernandes. Long ball looking for Maguire. It's all going to be a bit route one now. Maguire shovels it and Murphy clears it. Final minute of the added-on time, but we're going to get a little bit more, of course, because of the goal. Here's Malacia, and now Maguire in the left wing position. Steps inside, plays a nice ball, actually. Luckily for us, Diallo decides to go backwards. Trying to get a cross in. We'll get a free kick for that one. Because of who fell in the box. I think it might have been Trippier again. Brilliant professionalism there from the captain. He's been outstanding tonight. Now Maguire shakes his hand. In a very sporting-like manner. Well, all we need to do is keep the ball now for a minute or two, and I think it's game over, folks. The Geordies are in full voice. They're really there's happy, smiling faces tonight. Absolutely. I think the cameras are in Specsavers' corner at the minute. Long clearance from Ramsdale. And it is a long one. Asula challenged for it with Yoro. Xerxes plays it inside where Ugarte has it. Ugarte slips and loses it to Tonali. Tonali was fouled there, referee. Come on, ref! Tonali's down injured, by the way, but at the minute we're defending with 9. Here's Fernandez. Wide he goes. Cross comes in. Can we get a Newcastle head on it? We can. And it's once again, it's the captain, Trippier. Yeah, Tonali's been down injured for the last 30 seconds, ref. Because you missed another fucking foul. You stroker. And that's the third one of the night. The only problem with this is he's got to go for 30 seconds, hasn't he? I mean, we've criticised Trippier on this channel, and I think most Newcastle fans have. But he's rolled back the years again tonight. Sam Botman's coming on for Sandro Tonali. Good sub from Eddie. It means he doesn't have to go off for 30 seconds. Good thinking. Really good thinking. He's been on the case tonight, Mr. Howe, I've got to say. Tonali leaves the fray and Sven Botman comes on. Let's have no miscommunication for this last minute or two, folks. We're already into the 7th minute of 5 minutes added on. Very much what, well, let's hope the history doesn't repeat itself, eh? Here's Fernandez, very deep, tries to chip it in. That's on the head of Lewis Hall. Now it's with, great play that from, who's that on the far side? I think it might have been Willock. Brilliant play from him. Fernandez fouled him. And then Fernandez went off on one. And it's a free kick to Newcastle. That's surely it now. Surely has to be it. There's a Newcastle fan shouting shoot. I'm hoping that you've seen United now fuck off home is now blaring round St James's Park. Aaron Ramsdale's come to take this goal kick. This is going to go as far down the pitch as possible. Into the corner. There it goes. Didn't find touch there, which is poor. And Peter Banks is going to carry on playing. Now we're in the 98th minute of 5 added on fucking minutes. Maguire plays it behind Yoro there. There's the full-time whistle! Newcastle United have managed to snatch victory with a fantastic solo goal from William Asula in the 90th minute of play. Rightly lauded by his teammates. My God, if he could do that consistently, we've got a world beater on our side. What an absolute fantastic goal that was to win a game. Deservedly of any game. Let's reset that. And let's get back into the chat. What a fucking result that is. Honest to God, I'm ecstatic. Let's do some super chats. I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? 10 man. 10 man. Keith Truscott with the super chat. I think I've done the Chippers as one. Yeah, 10 minutes extra time. Are you effing kidding me? Cass, I've already read these. James Hilliam, member for 6 months. This is about the first half. Frustrating half to watch. Never read. J7 needs to be careful as he's already booked. Uphill task now. Sit back and counter. It's great to read these when you know you've won. Dan with the £5 super chat. Billy, mate, you can guarantee the ref will give these rats every chance possible to win. We're not playing 11 men. We're playing them and the officials. He didn't get involved much second half, did he? Really? Banks. Asker says we are so bad in defending from corners and free kicks. We can use a lamppost to the berm. New member, Actum Nate. Thank you very much. And he also says then, Ramsey didn't put his hand up and didn't even go for a pen. What a load of shite. You take the weight off not to get injured when you expect contact. I agree. $2 super chat from Quinton Cast. What happened with the send-off? Well, he did have a second yellow for diving, which wasn't. Graham Ritchie with a $10 super chat. We are victims of Fergie time, ref. Do your bloody job. Stop trying to be the centre of attention. Dave with a £5 super chat. Okay, Billy, I must be a thick one. How did you get 6 minutes out of 3 minutes of action? Do you know what, mate? It's because of the stoppage, wasn't it, for the penalty? That he managed to get 5 minutes extra for. I don't know. Peter Garthwaite with a £5 super chat. Thank you. Shocking send-off decision, but we should have defended the equaliser better. Let's hope we beat these cheating bastards. Well, I can tell you from the future that we did. Ian Breed, member 6 months. Do you work for the PGML? Then we at Man United want to hear from you. Wink, wink. Great comment. Thank you, mate. Acting now with the £5 super chat. Oh, fuck, I love you, Jacob, but you've had a shocker this season. Ramsdale kicking makes you realise how bad Pope's distribution is. Yeah, definite word for Aaron Ramsdale. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Rachel with the super chat. Wow, what an effing goal. Got to hole. Pottleshire. Oh, I didn't update the score. What a plank. I was that excited I didn't update the score. Shall I do it now? There you go. Didn't update the score. Thanks, sir. Well, obviously, I couldn't see too many screens at once. Graham McConnell says, player of the match. I'm on trips. He was outstanding. Eddie over in Japan. Hiya, mate. Thanks for your super chat. Brilliant. Thanks, Billy. Super Sam 974 against all odds. Thank you for your super chat. Samson Knight dubbed the Great Dane saved the day. He did indeed. Halmes, that's for you, Billy. That awesome commentary. Thank you. Ian Hogg, £2 super chat. Congratulations. Sorry, well done, Billy, on your super chat. I went for that. Thank you, Susan. Fagan with a £2 super chat. Man of the match, Ramsdale. So proud of more. 100%. Couldn't disagree with a word of that. Axel Nate. Amazing job tonight, Billy Kidd, especially solo. I'm in bits now. Away the lads. It's been a night. It's been a night. Keith Truscott with the £5 super chat. All done well. I thought Elanga was good tonight. Liking the player he's becoming. Liked his effort tonight. Paul Spencer does £2 super chat. Even refs Fergie watch couldn't stop us. Yeah, and it was a fucking Fergie watch as well. Outstanding goal to win a game. Deserves to win any game of football you'll ever see. Crikey O'Reilly. That was an outstanding goal. And for those who haven't seen it yet, get yourself onto Matchday because it was an absolute belter of a goal. No right to score it. To pick the ball up to where he did. The effort he made to get up the pitch. Then a bit of skill to step inside Malacia. And then to curve it with his left foot around the defender. Use Maguire as a block. Bent it round him. Into the bottom corner. Lamens had no chance. And Michael Carrick has suffered his first defeat. Brilliant. Love it. Love it. Excuse me. We've got another super chat here from Big Tank. Good win, but I'm tired of the diving, even our side. There was no diving from our side tonight, mate. Graham Ritchie with a $10 super chat. Big Joe's been brilliant. What a goal. I could watch that 1,000 times. Great commentary, Billy, as always. Thank you, mate. And DK with a €5 super chat. Well done, Billy, you are. Lucky charm. I don't commentate on solutions very often. I must be honest. I must be honest. Billy, was that goal of the season? For me, playing with 9 men, it was like Whiteside's goal. Great shout, whoever said that. The Bandit, it was like number Whiteside's goal in the FA Cup. Apart from the run he made, the 50-odd metres he made before that. But the finish was very much like it. Yeah, great comparison. Great comparison. Get yourself over to Evermore NUFC for the more celebratory chat on their channel. We should be back tomorrow night for a review of that. Can't wait for it already. And also, Paul will be doing an after-match reaction from the ground. He'll be a happy man. We're all happy men and women tonight, as Newcastle United managed to win against all odds with 10 men against 12 men. Yeah, outstanding. Outstanding. Now all I've got to do is find out how to end the stream. And when we do, we'll be happy. Fantastic result, people. Thanks ever much for the super chats. Thanks to the mods in the background. I didn't see much of the chat, obviously, because I'm watching the game. But what a result. What a night. What a goal. Good night, folks.
Come back and check on Sea Breeze.